This is Respectfully Outrageous with Nathan and Ben.
Today we're going to be talking about Super Bowl locations, the NFL leading rusher, and possible injuries.
Hope you enjoy. So, recently we learned that Super Bowl 55 has been moved from LA to Tampa Bay. And in light of this move, where do you think the most ideal spot for a Super Bowl is?
Well, first off, you have to think about where the Super Bowl is going to be. You have to think about geography. You have to think about weather. And, I mean, part of me wants to see it in, like, Michigan where you have 100,000 people there. But it's also snowy. It's cold. It's bench seating. You don't really want to have it in Texas. You just had one in Texas. You've had the Super Bowl in Texas before. I mean, AT&T Stadium's nice and all, but I don't really... doesn't scream interesting to me. But some places I would like to see it. Miami. They just got a new stadium. Not a new stadium. They renovated Sun Life Stadium. Now to Hard Rock Stadium. But there's other places I'd like to see it, like LA. Not specifically LA, but the Coliseum before it gets renovated again. Because USC they're actually taking the seats down from 100,000 down to 75,000 because they're putting in bigger press boxes. So, USC, their stadium, Miami. I would also like to see it in Green Bay. I know it's cold, but there's nothing that says more American football than Lambeau Field. I know it's probably never going to happen, but just the idea of seeing football, the Super Bowl there in Lambeau Field, Wisconsin, it's kind of a cool idea. Minnesota, I'm not going to say Minnesota because they just already had they're just going to get a Super Bowl. But the last place I really want to see it would be Vegas. They don't have a stadium built. We've seen this problem happen before this problem happen with Atlanta. But they have it fixed because they're not going to do a Super Bowl by the time the stadium's done. It'll be fine. But they had this problem with the Chargers. This is why we're having this discussion. But the reason I like Vegas is nothing about the stadium screams it needs to have a Super Bowl. It's not loud like Seattle. It's not huge like Dallas. It's the idea of having the Super Bowl in a city with all this entertainment. It's kind of like having the Super Bowl in New York. There's so much to do that you almost forget why you're there in the first place. And I think that's really intriguing. It's really interesting. Now, the question would be this huge controversy of, would there be gambling? Because everyone bets on the Super Bowl. There's betting on who's going to win, the kickoff, what color the Gatorade's going to be, how many points are going to be scored. But the NFL has used no gambling law, so I think that'd be all interesting that play into this image of the Super Bowl being in Vegas.
So you said, ideally, the main factors for a Super Bowl location is geography and weather. And similarly, you also were talking about fan bases and attractions just outside of the Super Bowl itself, like you were saying, New York and Las Vegas. And honestly, I almost think that kind of deters it a little bit. Attractions outside of the Super Bowl are great, but a Super Bowl in Vegas might be too much. I don't know until we see it, but again, the gambling problem is an issue. But if you had to pick one spot, ideally, where you would have a Super Bowl, where would you pick?
I'd have to go to the Coliseum. Historically, it was the first Super Bowl. It holds 93,000 people. You can get that up to 100,000 probably with the way they do seats and stuff like that. It's outdoor. It's classical. And it's in California. Now, it's not right next to LA, but you can get to LA. You can have attractions in LA and then go to the stadium. Which means you can have fireworks. It's not like you can't have fireworks indoors, but something about having a halftime show truly outside, I think would be really unique and interesting.
Yeah, because we won't have a Super Bowl in the Coliseum once the new LA stadium is built.
I mean, you could, but it's like, why would you?
Why would you do that?
I mean, you could have it, but it's like saying.
Yeah, I don't know, because there are interesting locations, and I mean, would you? I mean, at this point we've really only talked about the U.S., but would you have a Super Bowl in another country?
Here's the problem with that. Because teams go, they leave 2 weeks. There's a 2 week. They're in there for 2 weeks.
Correct. Yes.
Now, depending on if there's an elevation issue, like if it's in Mexico, geography it's not bad to have it in Mexico, but there's that elevation issue that the Texans and the Raiders ran into, the elevation problems. So maybe then that would cause a problem. But I think I'd be open to seeing it in another stadium, another country. It'd be interesting, because you already know other countries have reporters in the Super Bowl. It's a huge deal. I think it would help the NFL brand. But here's the problem with it having in another country. Because you have the fans that go because neither team's there. They just want to go see the Super Bowl once in a lifetime.
Right. Yeah.
You have fans that will go. Doesn't matter where the game is. Doesn't matter if it's on the moon. They'll go see their Cowboys. And then you have fans. Yeah, those fans for both teams. And then you have fans that really, really want to see a Super Bowl, but they just can't afford to go. So maybe that would be interflate with that. Those numbers would be fixed with international fans. Now the problem is, you really don't want to have it in Germany because there's like not stadiums to have it in Germany. So England, you look at England, but it's not that popular in England. It's kind of popular, but it's not soccer, it's not cricket, it's not track and field, it's not swimming. So where would you put it? It's not like England's not a choice. Canada doesn't have the stadiums unless you want to have it in a baseball stadium. You could have it in a soccer stadium. So that really leaves you with Mexico.
Which isn't necessarily ideal.
I mean, they love football in Mexico. They had great ratings. They're going to have another game in Mexico this year with the Patriots and the Raiders again. But I don't really know if you want to have the Super Bowl at elevation.
Yeah, because it would take some time to adjust. Too.
Right. I mean, that might actually be interesting because you have 2 weeks, and part of those 2 weeks you have to figure out how you're going to deal with the elevation and the... Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, so you were saying Coliseum probably is ideal. I don't know exactly where I would want to put one.
That's a cop-out.
I know, I'm just trying to think, because, like you said, there are a lot of factors that go into it. Atlanta's not bad.
The reason I didn't choose Atlanta, I'll let you finish, is they're going to get a Super Bowl.
I know, but what I'm...
Basically.
Right, but I am excited for the Atlanta Super Bowl because they're getting a new stadium. And I don't know if you heard, but they're going to lower their concession prices down.
Good point.
Insanely, which is going to...
Didn't even think of that.
That's going to increase attendance like crazy, and more people are going to buy more stuff.
Right.
Which is good for the NFL and for the stadium too, and the city as well, because cities can supply those concessions, and so that's why I was thinking Atlanta. And also the weather isn't terrible. There's not like Seattle where it's pretty much raining all the time. Like it's pretty sunny generally, and it's not blazing hot like in Texas could be sometimes. But that's why I went with Atlanta.
Okay.
And I do see your point that they don't have, or they're gonna have a Super Bowl soon. So but ideally if I didn't know if anyone was hosting a Super Bowl, I would put it in Atlanta.
What about that stadium draws you to Atlanta?
I don't know. I just like its shape. It's geometric shape. It just looks shiny and brand new. I mean, I could be disappointed when it comes about, and the inside could be crappy. I mean, I don't know. So, but I'm really excited to see that stadium be built, and I want to see that Super Bowl.
Right. The one thing about that stadium that might be the best thing about the stadium, might be the worst, is how they have that circular board. I'm not a fan of the board. Because you're going to be sitting here kind of looking up at it like you're in the AT&T Stadium, like, okay, and it's not like traditional at MetLife. You're just like, okay, look across the field. I mean, I'm more traditional in that sense, but this kind of came up to me as I was I was listening to you talk about interesting places and geometric shapes. I know they'll never happen, but what about having it on the inside of a racetrack?
No, I don't know.
Because you have the seating, because they're huge, they can hold like 150,000 people. They've had college games there, like Tennessee, Virginia Tech, and I was thinking maybe Virginia, but I'm not really thinking about like what I don't know where the motor speedways are, so I couldn't tell you like which one would be work. So something like that, because you have the seats, you can definitely put a football field down there. The only problem is the fans are gonna be really far away. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I really want to see. Again, I probably won't go to the Super Bowl.
right,
Let's make millions of dollars, but I don't know. It's cool to watch it on TV.
right,
You don't get the stadium feel,
right.
but I think the best thing for fans is the cheap prices, like I said, and overall access too. Because Atlanta is, I mean, kind of central, but like New York is for the people on the West Coast. They have to fly all the way to the East Coast, and
It's a huge airport though.
yeah, I understand, but like then you have to spend more money on plane tickets, and the overall cost is decreased in Atlanta. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens, and I'm really excited for this next year.
Right.
In Minnesota. Hopefully, it'll be
Hopefully it's
well
not a
executed.
No, hopefully it's not like a blowout. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, they had the Super Bowl.
Hopefully
in Miami.
the roof doesn't
Collapse.
break from.
They don't have a power outage. It doesn't pour or something like that.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to lead the league in rushing?
I have two candidates.
Okay.
And a third that
Now
I
it's
have
three.
a specific opinion about.
So now it's three. Okay.
Well, there's two that have for leading the league in rushing. I've got Zeke Elliott
Oh my gosh.
and Marshawn Lynch.
That is disgusting. That's disgusting.
Let me finish. It's my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're gonna say DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, because he's the best running back in the league.
And what I'm seeing more from Zeke and Lynch both is they don't receive the ball. They don't catch the ball as much. They don't get a lot of yards off that. So, and what I'm thinking is DeMarco Murray is going to get more reception yards, and he's going to have over 1,500 rushing yards.
I would hope he's going to have over
DeMarco.
1,500 yards.
And, no, 1,500 rushing and then some more receiving. I think he can eclipse 2,000 total. Total yards.
2,000 total yards.
Yeah.
What is it going to be, like 1,800 something and then something like that?
Marco Murray, I think, is going to be 1,500 and 500.
Okay, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish this legacy.
And I don't see Zeke getting the ball receiving that much. And also, if Dak gets more comfortable, we could see less of Zeke. But if Dak starts to choke a little bit and has a sophomore slump, then we might see more Zeke. So that's why I'm a little iffy on Zeke there, because we don't know what Dak's going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynch, I just said Lynch because he's behind a great offensive line. He's got a great passing attack to complement his rush style. And I just kind of wanted to say Marshawn Lynch to piss you off. So I will get one more thought in and I'll leave it to you. And I was thinking, we can both agree that David Johnson will not leave the league in rushing.
He's not that good, man.
No.
He's just not that good.
I know. I totally agree.
He's terrible.
Yes. And because he's like the only one on that team, besides Larry Fitzgerald.
Palmer. Don't look at me. He went to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, okay, whatever. And so I'm saying Zeke Lynch, and then DeMarco Murray's going to have over 2,000. Your turn.
Well, I'm glad you recognize that DeMarco Murray is very talented because.
Oh,
he's the
I
best
definitely no. Yeah, what I'm saying is he's not going to lead the league in rushing. He's just going to have more receiving yards.
That's where you're wrong. Zeke. Problem with Zeke is he's got too many stars on that team in Dallas. Not only does it because they have the big star in their stadium. That's not the problem. The problem is Dak. The only reason Zeke's gonna be good is if Dak struggles. Now Dak's good enough. I don't think he's gonna struggle. I don't think he's gonna go take him to the divisional round, get into a last second throw by Rodgers, field goal, they win the game. Everyone loses their minds. Cowboys fans can't sleep for 3 weeks. That's not gonna happen again. But I don't think Zeke is going to be getting all the carries that he's going to get this year. Plus, they also have tape on Zeke. And last year, he was a rookie hurdling over people and like, where is he? How do you do that? What? Now we're going to expect that from Zeke, and I don't think Zeke has had a year where people have had tape on him. Murray's had it several years, and he's been used to have teams having tape on him. That's why I think he's going to lead the rushing. And not only that, people have to worry about him as a read option guy with Mariota coming back from injury. Derrick Henry take off a load, and I think Derrick Henry can receive a little bit more. Henry gets those tough yards, wears down that defense, and then Murray comes in and just cracks out a huge one. To your point on Marshawn Lynch, stop it. Stop it. He was gone for a year. Wanna know why he was gone for a year? Because he stunk.
No.
He stunk.
No,
he
he
stunk
didn't.
up
No,
the
he did
joint in
not.
Seattle.
No.
Don't even get me started.
No, he didn't.
Okay, everyone in Seattle was like, Marshawn, you give him the ball. He needs a yard, right?
No,
Fourth and
it's
one against
because
the Rams.
Russ-
Fourth and one against the Rams. What happened?
He got stuffed.
You got stuffed.
Because
he
want to know why?
stunk.
Want to
He
know?
stunk.
No, that's
He
not
stunk.
true. That is not true.
He stunk.
DeMarco Murray would have got stuffed too.
No.
Oh yeah,
DeMarco Murray
guaranteed.
hit the hole. He
No,
hit the hole.
no.
He tried to do that Le'Veon Bell starter stuff, and he got stumped by Aaron Donald.
Yeah, no. So would DeMarco Murray.
That's disgusting.
No, it's not.
He tried to stand back there, wait to see the hole, and he got met early.
Yeah, because Seattle was an idiot the first time they should have run the ball, and then they're like, "Oh, 4th and 1. They're definitely not going to think we're going to run it." That was part of the issue too. The Rams knew they were going to run the ball because
Pete Carroll didn't want to make the same mistake again. And Russell Wilson, we all know he can't make that play.
You mean to tell me that Russell Wilson, Super Bowl championship quarterback, cannot complete a pass on 4th and 1?
No, he could complete a pass. But as we've seen on the goal line and with 1 yard to go, he hasn't done too hot.
Well, he also went up against one of the best corners in the league, Malcolm Butler, who made an insane play against a sorry receiver like Lockett. Okay, that was on Lockett. Wilson threw a good pass. Malcolm Butler made an incredible play and jumped the route.
how could have Lockett done better?
He could have won that route. And I also think we got to give credit to Brandon Browner because he beat that jam and allowed him to cut off the pick and intercept that.
Okay, let's get back to the rushing because we got quarterbacks.
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch was gone. He didn't even when he was in that year, he wasn't great. He came back against Carolina. I couldn't find him. I couldn't find him in the stat sheets. Can you give me an APB? I couldn't find him. Not only that, I don't think Marshawn Lynch is going to mesh so well with the style of Oakland because Oakland, Latavius Murray, one cut, he's gone. Up the gut and he's gone. Marshawn Lynch, he can do that one cut and go, but his top end speed is not the same as Latavius Murray. The thing with Seattle is, even if he hit the hole and starts running down the field, you see these great plays of these pile driving runs? Yeah, because he's really strong. Because he got caught as a runner. He gets caught. DeMarco Murray is faster than Marshawn Lynch. I'll make that argument. He's faster than Marshawn Lynch. But the main reason I can't see Marshawn Lynch leading the league in rushing is because I see Derek Carr being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I don't see the Raiders saying, you know what? Well, it's 3rd and 1. Let's run it. I see Jack Del Rio going, it's 3rd and 1. Let's go deep to Crabtree. Let's go deep. 4th and 1. Let's give it to Marshawn Lynch. And I think I see them doing all these different things. And I think people forget Jalen Richard's really good on the Raiders. He's pretty good. And there's other players that they also run the ball, the receiver. So the Raiders, I think, are going to be more of a passing team. And not like they were this year where they ran the ball. I think there are going to be some games where they pass and run. I mean, not like the Carolina Panthers who only run the ball. This is our identity. We run or we lose. And now, to the point of David Johnson, he's got no talent around him. He doesn't have talent around him offensively. He doesn't have a tight end. I don't know who the starting tight end is for the Cardinals. The quarterback, I think Palmer is a top 25, maybe top 30 quarterback. But he doesn't surprise me. Larry Fitzgerald can't do what he does forever. And I really don't have anything else to say about David Johnson because he's a running back, but he's just a bigger, stronger, slower Ty Montgomery. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah.
That's fair. So, my leading rushers in this order: Murray, McCoy, Elliott, and then I'm not going to say Latavius Murray because I don't think he's going to blend in well in Minnesota. It's so many issues with development Cook, offense play calling. I don't want to say Marshawn Lynch. I don't think anyone in the AFC West is going to surprise me. Maybe Melvin Gordon can get slided to 6th. Maybe. But there's a lot of iffies there. So, you got Murray. You have McCoy. And then Ezekiel Elliott. And then for 4, I'm going to have to go Doug Martin. Because in Tampa Bay, Jameis, Dirk Cutter, When they didn't have a run game, Tampa Bay was pretty average. But when they had that run game going with Jaquez Rogers, they actually did some things. They scared teams in the NFC South, like Carolina. They scared New Orleans. They didn't scare Atlanta because Atlanta's Atlanta. But I don't understand what you see in Zeke. I really don't. I just don't get it.
It's better than McCoy.
What are you talking about? Better than McCoy? McCoy's the second best running back in the league.
I thought you said DeMarco Murray was.
I said Murray's the best. I said McCoy's the second best.
Oh, okay. I thought you said McCoy was the best. I was like, wait, what?
No, I'm not gonna take. No, I'm not doing that. But what specifically about Zeke? You go, yeah, this guy's gonna be great.
His determination, and I mean, he's physical. Mm-hmm. He's a good runner. He's got good vision. One of the big issues I have with McCoy is he's a good player.
Well, thank you.
But I mean, he's got some really good big playability. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he's a little too vulnerable on the injury side. That's
Yep, good point.
That's where his downside falls because he's a good runner, but like Le'Veon Bell, he's not on the field all the time. And that's why I don't feel comfortable putting McCoy up that high. Yeah, he's a great runner and can have great plays, but there can be times where he's at 20 yards rushing until the fourth quarter, but then he breaks off a big one. So part of my thing is if he's not on the field, he's not going to get those high level yard levels. And with Zeke, he's consistent. They go to him, and like I said earlier, like you were talking about, it depends on what Dak shows up.
Yep.
And how Dez Bryant plays. Because if we see 2014 Dez, it's going to be a different story. But if we see 2015, 2016 Dez, we're going to see something different.
What's wrong with 2016 Dez?
Oh, no, 2016 Dez was great. I think he really complimented Dak. But I think Dallas is wanting to see more from Dez.
Right.
Maybe Cole Beasley or the rookies, whatever they get. But Jason Witten is aging. They did lose their right guard, I believe.
Doug Free?
Yeah, or is he right tackle or right guard or something?
Tackle.
Yeah, they lost Doug Free. So that might affect it a little bit. But another thing that I like with Zeke and the Cowboys is their chemistry. I really like how their team seems like a good, solid team. I mean, you've got these younger guys, they're all growing up, and they're all, I mean, you've seen them. Their chemistry's great.
Yeah, I saw them.
They have fun when they play. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think Zeke is going to lead the league in rushing, is because he's going to have fun doing it.
You mean to tell me that Zeke's going to lead the league because it's fun?
Not solely because of that.
Okay.
But I think it's a factor.
I think McCoy and Tyrod have a really great chemistry. Read option, I think Tyrod is actually better than Dak Prescott.
But again, we're not talking about quarterbacks here.
No, we're not.
What I'm saying
saying that Tyrod and McCoy kind of have what they have in Dallas, except Tyrod doesn't have the X factor to throw up to. And McCoy, what you said about his big run play, he might have 20 yards in the fourth quarter, but he doesn't have Rex Ryan calling plays anymore. He's got Sean McDermott, who's a defensive-minded coach, and what defensive-minded coaches like to do? Like to run the ball and then keep and play great defense. And McCoy suits that. Now, McCoy has fumbling issues because he carries the ball funny.
Right, yeah.
But McCoy has that ability to be 20 yards and then hit an 89-yard rushing in the last 10 minutes and then hit another 50-yarder. And you're
I respect that ability, but again, my issue with him is, can he stay on the field?
Good point. And with McCoy, you got to roll that dice. He's got that style of roll that dice. Zeke's consistent. Murray has these kind of waves.
They're not
huge, but there are definitely
McCoy's got bigger waves.
McCoy's are. You feel like you're in the middle of the ocean with McCoy.
Like sometimes he's at 200 yards rushing one game, then he goes down to 30 another.
You're just like, what are you doing, McCoy?
Yeah.
And sometimes with McCoy, you're just like, hit the hole. Why are you going backwards? Hit the hole.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But you also, with McCoy, you have to take that because he has the ability to hit these crazy plays, and it has to do with his vision. Sometimes too much vision can be a bad thing. What I don't like about McCoy, not only his fumbling issues, but McCoy is a great receiver. He can line up as a wide receiver, and you can throw him the ball. So I think second leading rusher is a little bit high. I'll agree with you on that, but I don't. Problem with that is he can also play wide receiver so well, so that they're gonna also throw him the ball. So I think he will, as running backs go, I think he's gonna lead the league in combined yards. McCoy.
Over Murray.
Yeah, over Murray, because I think McCoy is a better receiver than Murray. I mean, Murray's got these I call them Peterson hands.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
bobble catches. Fournette hands, kind of like the bobbles. He catches it, but he's like, oh boy. With Zeke, you throw it out to him, and he's like, easy, easy. You know he's been doing it. I don't know if that's Ohio State thing, because Carlos Hyde can catch really well.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll use Zeke more in the passing game. Because I know, I mean, it's a good check down.
He's a great check down.
Yeah.
And the Steelers will tell you how fast he is.
Yeah, you could. They'll give you a first-hand account.
I mean, why don't you ask the Bengals what happens when he hits the hole? I mean, I don't know if Murray would hit that hole the same way and be gone. But something about the way that Murray starts running the ball, it's just majestic. Like, you know what I mean? To talk about it is the way his feet sound as he starts running the ball. Because Eric Dickerson had the classic running tall. Mm-hmm. Barry Sanders had that classic shake. Marshawn has that wide stance. Peterson has that bucking head. Something about Murray's feet, I don't know. McCoy has that, like, weird, like, what are you doing, McCoy? But McCoy's the real McCoy. So, Murray, McCoy, and then some others. But I don't see David Johnson anywhere near the top 5. I don't even know why he's in the conversation.
I could see him in the top 5.
Really?
Just because, that's all they're going to use him for.
Well, I think Le'Veon Bell's better.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think Delvin Cook's better.
But he's not.
He hasn't played yet. You can't. Okay, I get it.
And I don't think he's going to get the touches with Latavius Murray unless
Rookie fullback.
We can't. We don't know.
We don't
know what's going to happen.
Right.
It's hard to predict that stuff with rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I think we can agree that David Johnson is not the star that people make him out to be.
I don't see Eddie Lacy.
Oh no.
There's gonna be this huge conversation because he's gonna be like, it's kind of, if you remember back when Pittsburgh went to the Super Bowl, not the one against the Steelers, but the one before that in Detroit where they played the Seahawks, and they had Jerome Bettis and Isaac Redman, and Jerome Bettis was the big boss, the huge running, stumbling, bumbling, rumbling forward guy, and then you had Isaac Redman speedy. Now I think that's what's gonna happen in Seattle. Now Thomas Rolls is not just a speed guy; he's got some strength, he's got some beast mode in him, but he's fast. And then Marshawn Lynch he's got some lateral movement, but we've seen his top end speed. It's not great, but it can get the job.
But the Raiders didn't sign him for his top end speed either. So,
I mean, you could argue that they got what they wanted, too. So,
I mean, part of the reason Latavius Murray worked so well is he hit that hole and he was gone. I don't know how fast Marshawn Lynch is going to be coming back. I haven't seen him running in OTAs, which are completely voluntary. I don't see him sprinting down the sideline.
They held him out of OTAs. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see him like running or anything.
Well, I know, but he wanted to participate, but they held him out.
Good point.
The team did because they wanted to save him. Which
yeah,
I mean,
Good
it shows that Marshawn's willing to play, and it shows that the coaches know, hey, we got to keep this guy fresh.
Yeah,
because they're gonna use him. He's gonna look good in that silver and black.
I think he's gonna look better in the away jersey than in the home jersey.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see him go into Mile High against Von Miller.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see. I cannot wait to see him get a chip block on Von Miller.
Oh, that'll be great.
I cannot wait to see that.
So, we can agree that Zeke is in the top 3 at least for rushing.
Yeah.
Same with Murray.
Obviously.
McCoy, we don't know until it happens.
Stop hating on McCoy.
I'm not hating on McCoy. I'm just saying we don't know what's going to happen.
You gotta believe.
I can't believe in a guy that injures his groin and his knee every season.
Well, maybe you should believe in a guy who's got a new head coach and a new purpose.
He still has the same body.
Still in body, but he's got talent around him this year.
What improved?
They got a great corner in the first round from LSU.
Yeah, but they lost Stephon Gilmore too, so...
He got burned like toast like Brandon Carr. He's Brandon Carr with longer dreads. Don't even get me started on Stephon Gilmore. That boy cannot play.
But his contract says otherwise.
Well, he's going to go with the Patriots. I mean, he's going to make Rex Burkhead look like a Pro Bowler.
That's true. Yeah, well, so we can agree on that. And it was good topic to talk about. We really got the juices flowing.
It's healthy.
Um, I can't wait to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of my favorite parts is seeing the rushers play. I mean, I like passing, but like
There's
having
something great about a running back get into the second level and a safety trying to bite that mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah. Well, that was a good topic, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. There are several players coming back from injury. How do you expect them to perform this season?
So the players we're going to talk about today are Derek
Watt.
Carr,
Mm-hmm. Derek Carr.
J.J. Watt, Marcus Mariota,
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Peterson,
Yep.
and Rob Gronkowski.
Yep.
I saw something today that Rob Gronkowski is participating in all OTA activities.
Yep. That's really good.
So they signed Dwayne Allen also, didn't they?
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they ease Gronk a little bit back into it. Like, not just put him out there right away. I mean, obviously he's doing OTAs. They want him back. He's good.
He's good. Did you just say Gronk's good? Did you just realize that? Where you've been under a rock for the last 30 years? Gronk's amazing.
I know he is, but I'm not going above and beyond. If someone's good, they're good.
I also
If
think
they're mediocre, they're mediocre. Derek Carr is good.
he's real good.
Marcus Mariota is good.
Which one's better, though?
Another day.
The other day, okay. I'm sorry.
Next weekend.
Next weekend, we'll get into this one. Carr Mariota.
So, I'm thinking Gronk should be fine.
Yeah, I would say that. Especially with the support around him in New England. He's got Tom Brady. He knows the playbook. He's not going to play much in the preseason. Patriots fans, you should not worry. He's going to be fine. He'll come back week 1. The home opener. They're going to win the game. It's Tom Brady. They'll be fine. Okay? Calm down. Nothing to worry about.
Yep. J.J. Watt, I see he's been doing stuff around. But with his playing style, I'm worried.
I'm worried, not for his production, because I'm worried the way that J.J. Watt takes double teams and the way that he always gets hit after the play, and he's in run defense and he's getting slammed, and he's so physical, which is a great thing. You want that in a D end / D tackle or whatever position. Maybe if you stood him up and played linebacker, only rushed him, like if they conserved him and they used him like how they used Von Miller in Denver, he might last a little bit longer. But I don't think J.J. Watt's going to be taking off snaps so he can play longer.
Yeah, So I think that something to watch is J.J. Watt's recovery, because I don't know if is he in OTAs. I'm not sure.
I haven't checked, but it's not the beginning of the end. It's the end of the beginning for J.J. Watt.
Yeah, he's gonna really start feeling it, or
I don't know.
He's had multiple injuries.
Yeah, I don't think he's going. If he said, I wouldn't be surprised because J.J. Watt has surprised me before. But I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great year. If he sets a career high in sacks, this will be his high watermark. He won't pass this. If he sets a career high in sacks this year, it will be his high watermark.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. And so that one could be interesting. So Gronk, I think, is fine. J.J. Watt, I don't know.
The writing's on the wall, but we don't know.
Right.
We can't all see it yet.
Adrian Peterson. Now, before you go off,
people know I don't like Adrian Peterson.
I don't like him either. And I think the Saints were foolish to sign him.
I wouldn't say that.
Why would you spend the money on him? They have Mark Ingram already.
I'm a Panther fan.
And Tim Hightower.
Because Tim Hightower is really not that good. I said that. Tim Hightower doesn't scare me as a running back coming out of the backfield. And as a running back, who is really available? Rashad Jennings, but I mean, do you really want to trade for a running back? They got Alvin Kamara from Tennessee, I believe it is.
But couldn't they have signed also Jamal Charles at that time?
Yeah, but I think Peterson has more than Jamal Charles has left.
No. And part of the issue, again, with Jamal Charles, who is also coming off injury.
Play style.
His play style, and Jamal Charles a little more lanky, skinnier. He's not as big.
He's fast, gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
And in Denver, they don't have an offensive line to protect him, so he's going to get creamed.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to say this. I hope he doesn't get injured, but I would not be surprised to see him on the injury report this year.
Along with Adrian Peterson?
I wouldn't say Adrian Peterson's going to get injured. I mean, I see him on the injury report for maybe like a tight hamstring or a quadricep, maybe miss a game for that, maybe a knee, not an MCL, not an ACL. Nothing like that. But I wouldn't. There's no way Peterson's breaking 1,000 yards.
No, not with Drew Brees there.
Not the fact. It's not the problem that Drew Brees is there. It's the fact that Mark Ingram is better.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. I understand they wanted another running back, but their issue, why did they get rid of Brandon Cooks?
Because Brandon Cooks was in a contract year, New Orleans has a notoriously bad handling of cap space, and they believe that if they released him or traded him away somehow and put in a good word, and they could potentially get Malcolm Butler. End of the story. Flash forward a couple months and a couple weeks of waiting. Brandon Cooks is in the Patriots jersey. Malcolm Butler is also.
And the Saints got what, a first round next year?
Something like that. And Ted Ginn through free agency.
Oh. Okay. So anyway, I again, Adrian Peterson along is iffy, but I like JJ Watt better than AP at this point. To have a better productive year.
See, what's your definition of productive for a running back?
I like him going over 1,000 yards.
AP over 1,000 yards.
Will not happen.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying JJ Watt will have a better production year.
I say he's gonna have a mediocre season with about 697 yards and 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns total or rushing? I mean, we
Do
all
you
know
see
we
him
can't
catching?
catch by. No, we
Do you
can't.
see him catching? I don't think he's gonna fumble. Like, I don't think he's obviously gonna fumble once. It's Peterson, he fumbles. Just have him play Cam Chancellor in the cold. I don't see him recovering a fumble, diving in to give him a fifth or anything. I don't see him receiving. I don't see him returning kicks or punts. So 4 touchdowns.
All right. And then, so now we move to the quarterbacks. Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota.
They're about to let this world on fire.
Have they participated in OTAs? Do we know?
Marcus Mariota is limited. He is not running. Derek
Oh,
Carr
yeah.
is not throwing, I believe.
Okay. So they're still on the path. So we don't know if they'll be fully ready by preseason.
Yes, yes, sir.
Which troubles me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they're bad, but I think it could be a rough entry if they miss some of the preseason.
I think they're not going to hit the... I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to hit the ground running. I think he's going to hit the ground and kind of stumble a little bit.
A little rough entry. That's
A
what
little
I'm
stuff,
thinking.
and maybe week 2, and then he's going to take off. I think Derek Carr is going to come in. Week 1 of the preseason will be real ugly. I don't think he'll play much. Week 2. Week 3, look pretty okay. Week 4, he'll be back to Derek Carr himself.
And the nice part about both those quarterbacks is they've got running backs. So that they don't... If it's a little rough for them at the beginning, they can lean on them a little bit.
I think Tennessee's going to lean on their running game a little bit more and be a little bit more successful in the beginning.
At the beginning.
And then Oakland's passing game will overtake them.
Right, yeah. But at this point, I don't really have any concerns for Mariota or Carr. My real concerns are with Peterson, Charles, Watt.
I saw Bridgewater was passing in OTAs, which is good.
Yep.
So that was good.
I wouldn't be surprised if they really slow him and keep him.
Yeah, why wouldn't you keep him slow?
They don't. Yeah, right. Because, I mean, they have Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford. Yeah, and then didn't they sign somebody else as a free agent? Oh, they signed what's his name? He was the Ram starter for the
Case
Keenum.
Keenum. Case
Keenum.
Keenum.
Definition of mediocrity. Definition. Of
Yeah, which they've got topic for another day. They've got a weird quarterback situation there too.
ugly.
It's not great. And I think they traded away a first round pick for him.
Yeah.
And a conditional fourth, which turned out to be a fourth.
Conditional fourth. It's a fourth.
Because, they didn't make the playoffs or they didn't make the Super Bowl, so.
I mean, Philadelphia's like, yeah, we'll take that deal. We'll take that deal.
Yeah. So, that's it for this week. Again, we have social media pages. Before every episode, we will be posting a sneak peek
Yes.
of our following episode that weekend.
Try to guess the topics.
Yep. If you guess it,
Nothing happens.
good good job.
Feel good about yourself.
And we want to thank you for listening, and please tell your friends and family about this. We would really
Get the word out.
We really want to get this out to more people. We know it's football, but a lot of people football is part of America, and we would like to inform people and so that they can go into the office and start talking football with other people.
Right. So see, when you're talking about the Vikings, you actually know what you're talking about.
Right, and instead of just Teddy Bridgewater's the GOAT, you know.
You know what I mean? Kyle Rudolph's the greatest tight end in the NFL. And
So,
if
and
I was like,
it's we would really appreciate it if you would spread the word with other people.
Could one of the ways you could do that is by following Twitter and Instagram pages, subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving a like. All those are great. Ben and I want to thank you for listening and
well, thank you.
enjoy your week.